Good evening. I call to order the regular meeting of the Conroe Independent School District Board of Trustees for Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 to order. The time is 5:02 and a quorum of the board is present. And this meeting has been duly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, please rise for the invocation by Trustee Horton, and the pledge will be led by Boy Scout Troop 889 tonight.
Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we just come before you now, before our meeting, God, and before a lot of busyness in May, God. We just pray your blessing over this meeting, but also over all of the graduates that we're going to soon have. And we just thank you, God, that we were able to impact them while they were here in Conroe ISD. And we just pray for their futures, and we pray for all of our students over the summer that you would bless them and keep them safe. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. And now Troop 889 will present the colors and lead us in the pledge.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. About face. Please join me in the United States Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. Color guard, about face. Forward march. Color guard, halt. Please post the colors. About face. Color guard, reform. Color guard, return to post. Color guard, halt. Color guard, dismissed. On behalf of Troop 889 of the Woodlands Texas, I would like to say that we are honored to serve here as your color guard for your Board of Trustees. Thank you very much for having us.
Now that's what I'm talking about. I love that. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to your entire troop and for the service that you provide in our community, as well as what you did here for us this evening. Right. I don't need to tell you to be seated. You're already seated. So moving on, the time is now 5:05. The board will move into closed session as authorized by Texas Open Meetings Act for the following Texas Government Code items. 551.074, discuss principal candidates. Section 551.071, pending and contemplated litigation or contract dispute with SI Environmental LLC. Section 551.076, receive information regarding district-wide intruder detection audit report. And 551.072, discuss approval of property acquisition. All final votes and actions will be taken back in open session. Again, the time is 5:06 and we are adjourned. The time is 5:56 and the board is now back in open session. The next item up is discussion and possible action to authorize the superintendent to negotiate and execute a settlement agreement with C Environmental LLC. Do I have a motion?
Motion for CISD to direct the superintendent to settle with SI Environmental LLC for a maximum of $161,996.59.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor show by the uplift of hands. Okay, all opposed? And the motion carries 6-1. I'm sorry, was that, I didn't look up, was that in opposition? Okay, thank you. 6-1. When I didn't see your hand up, I just assumed, I apologize. Okay. Next item up for discussion and possible approval is the property acquisition item. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I have a motion. I make a motion to approve the right-of-way acquisition by Montgomery County Precinct 3 at Robinson Road and authorize the superintendent to execute contract documents.
Negotiate and execute?
To negotiate and execute the contract documents.
All right, thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor show by the uplift of hands. And the motion carries 7-0. Okay. Next item up is citizen participation. Public comment is conducted in accordance with Board Policy BED. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to address the board. The board will listen, but will not engage in discussion during this portion of the meeting. Ms. Spurlock, please call our first speaker.
Colin Noble. Colin Noble. Henry Moss.
Hi, my name is Henry Moss. I'm a fifth grader at Wilkerson, and I would like to bring up an issue our community has within it. This issue I am concerned about would be our shortened recess. Studies have shown that when us kids have more recess, it provides memory, attention, better health, and better social skills with a higher academic performance. When you take breaks, it often helps you to stay on task. Also, regular exercises increases volume of brain regions linked to memory and thinking. If these kids had more recess, it would help these schools and students achieve more than they think they can. I understand that we need more class time, but recess affects us with a higher academic score than staring at a Chromebook. It allows the mind to reset, to be in a calmer position, while a class tool, a Chromebook, does not provide cognitive benefits. I don't just want this extra recess, I'm informing you why we need this recess for better benefits of academic scores. A solution to fix this problem of more recess is less Bluebonnet. The Bluebonnet curriculum uses our fine arts and PE time. I understand Bluebonnet is essential for ELA, but fine arts and PE time is also a class we learn and get to move our bodies. Thank you for your time. Goodbye and have a great evening.
Well done.
Aaron Caroling. Aaron Caroling. B. Gasca.
Good evening, ladies. Dr. Vincent. I'm here to announce that 34 moms from 19 countries volunteered 360 hours to deliver the onboarding for international families to better understand the United States education system a couple of weeks ago. Some examples of the content are history and background of the United States education system, cultural differences, migratory grief, among others. What we are doing next is to make videos on those contents so that it's easier for parents to watch it and also to have an automatic translation to any language thanks to the gadgets that YouTube provide. And we will meet with Mr. Lozano from Mrs. Upshaw team this week to program the filming, and luckily we can do it during summer, but worst case scenario, first week of next school year, they should be ready. We want also to inform you that we will keep the International Mothers Committee open for next year, and we will present the proposal of the project we want to develop in the first school board meeting. Thank you so much for your support. I think we discover a lot of very interesting things that are happening in that community. And I just want to close saying that the international community do not make demands. We add value. Thank you so much.
Crystal Eicher.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Vinson. My name is Crystal, and I'm here tonight as the chairperson of CPAC, the Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, to share a brief community update. First, I want to say how genuinely encouraged I am by the collaborative spirit we have experienced in recent months. The engagement between Dr. Vinson, Dr. Wiggins, and our CPAC team has been both meaningful and productive. That kind of partnership between district leadership and parent advocates is exactly what moves the needles for our families, and I do not take it for granted. CPAC exists to serve every special education family in the district. We are a place for community, for education, and for advocacy. When families feel seen and supported, students thrive. That is a win for everyone, and I believe we are building here something that will have a lasting impact. I also want to highlight a recent example of this partnership in action. When the district launched the Homecoming Initiative, we suggested that the district consider open houses as a solution, and we also pointed out helping families see the positive side of this transition. We've also had the opportunity to provide feedback and to bring forward the voices of families who are struggling with the change. That's the full loop. That is what meaningful partnership looks like. The district did not just listen, they acted, and our families have felt it. And I commend the district for that. It takes courage and commitment to invite feedback and to act on it. And while we know there is still work ahead, we are encouraged that this kind of exchange is a positive step in the right direction. As we close out this school year, we are not slowing down. We plan to use the summer to lay the groundwork for a program that is structured, sustainable, and truly impactful. That means establishing consistent meeting cadence that is publicized well in advance, creating meaningful opportunities for family participation, and building the kind of program that sets a standard not just here in Conroe ISD, but across the state of Texas. Thank you.
Destiny Milton.
Good evening. My name is Destiny Milton, and I'm a former teacher of CISD and a parent of 2 students. I want to be clear. I do not support harmful materials in our schools. Legitimate concerns deserve a review process, but the process that this board created for books was never about fairness. It was about politics. This pattern began 4 years ago before the current policy was even in place. At that time, we saw Misty Odenweller actively participating in and encouraging others to challenge books that they had never even read. This established a precedent of removal driven by selective passages and public pressure rather than educational expertise. This year, the board updated the EMB policy, giving itself sole authority to remove books, while also claiming that those removals cannot be appealed. By labeling these removals as board actions rather than district removals, you have intentionally stripped away the community's right to appeal your decision on books. This policy allows 7 individuals the ability to decide what every student in CISD can read. It obstructs the parental rights of families in CISD. This brings us to the hypocrisy of what we see today with the Action Bible. I do not believe this book should be banned or removed. But it is exactly what happens when censorship replaces thoughtful policy. You created a precedent where books can be removed based on vague criteria, and now the same standard is being applied to books that you personally support. So you must decide, do you hold strong in your convictions and policy, or do you make exceptions for books that align with your personal beliefs? And keep in mind that because of your EMB policy, once the book is gone, there's no meaningful way to bring it back. Like so many books that were removed before it, it will be lost to our students. The worst part about it is CISD already has a process in place that we can improve on. a solution that allows us to keep our books on our shelves while allowing parents to control what their children read. But this board is not interested in solutions. Instead, you're focused on political grandstanding.
Mark Brooks. Mark Brooks. Sherry Stewart. Sherry Stewart. Alexi Stannon. Alexi Stannon. Teresa Kinney.
Good evening. I have several issues I'd like to address. First, regarding the challenge to heroes and villains acquisition list presented in March was not the same list presented in April, despite carrying the same title with no indication that it had been edited. Removed titles included an elementary level biography of Bernie Sanders, the picture book Black Hands, Builders of Our Nation, about the contributions of Black Americans, and the book Not Nothing, about a boy who befriends a Holocaust survivor. Finally, teachers and librarians are now self-censoring. Parents are telling me that teachers are pulling books from classrooms altogether, which sends a message that books are not valued. And one parent told me that her child's librarian was afraid to request a book about the Tulsa race massacre for fear of reprisals. All of these issues point to a deeply flawed review process. They raise concerns about transparency and consistency, and they leave the district open to legal liabilities. Whether intentional or not, these actions send the message that marginalized communities do not have a voice or place in Conroe ISD. Thank you.
Rebecca Smith.
Good evening, members of the board. Tonight, the question before you is simple. Does the Action Bible Heroes and Villains violate state law or Conroe ISD library policy? The answer is simple, no. The only question is whether this book meets the legal definition of pornographic, harmful, sexually explicit, indecent, profane, or pervasively vulgar material, and it does not. Conroe ISD policy points to Texas Education Code, Chapters 33 and 35, and Texas Penal Code, Section 43.24. Under those standards, challenge materials must involve patently offensive sexual conduct, appeal to the prudent interests of minors, and lack redeeming social value. The challenge content in the Action Bible does not meet that standard. These are moral, historical, and religious accounts. They do not graphically describe sexual conduct. They do not promote sexual immorality. They show moral failure, consequences, repentance, and redemption. Texas Education Code recognizes religious literature, including the Bible, as educationally valuable and appropriate for student learning. It is also important to note that this grievance does not appear to have been filed in good faith. Even the original petitioner has publicly stated on social media that his goal is not for the Action Bible to be removed, or in his words, banned. He has said he hopes the board denies this challenge. His stated intent was to demonstrate what he sees as the absurdity of the board's prior decision to restrict access to I Am Billie Jean King. For that reason, this board could also make a motion to reject the challenge altogether as not being a good faith grievance under the purpose of the policy. I respectfully ask the board to uphold the law, apply policy consistently, protect parental rights, and reject this grievance. Thank you.
Jeff Zedler.
Well, I think we finally know the truth. All 7 of you must hate children. You must want to deny them an education. I don't know what other motives you could have in removing this beautiful book called Billie Jean King, Humps and Umbrella. I read it to my kids when they were 5. Sure, they have a little mental illness now, but who cares? They can't define a man or a woman anymore, but let's not worry about that. So, what is this really? This is a larger attack on Christianity and language itself. If you look at the recent actions by the Southern Poverty Law Center, paying off hate groups, they need to manufacture hate. That's the larger goal. And so you need to be cast as book banners. So since the 1800s, banning books meant complete government prohibition of books. But the left changed that definition along with many others. So they need you to be bad guys. Obviously you're not. And they do this because identity and affirmation are more important than the truth. Tomorrow morning, I could identify as an 88-year-old Chinese woman with a bad limp. And people would clap here. And they go, good, Jeff. Maybe you're a Chinese woman now. So here's a few words that they've changed unilaterally since the early 2000s. Man, woman, female, male, gender, sex, they, vaccine, pandemic, science, safety, harm, public health, and ban. So I want to thank Mark Brooks for his very skilled journalism. I wouldn't have seen any of this without him. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Remember, you're elected to make these decisions, not them. When you upset the left, that's the goal. Thank you.
Waylon Harder Leahy.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. My name's Waylon Harder Leahy, and I have the privilege of serving alongside Crystal Eicher as the co-chair of CPAC, the Special Education Parent Advisory Committee. I want to take a moment tonight to speak about the importance of partnership. Special education families often carry a tremendous amount of responsibility navigating services, communication, and support for their children. What makes a meaningful difference is when families feel that the district is not working around them, but working with them. Over the last several months, we've seen encouraging steps towards that kind of partnership in Conroe ISD. We've had opportunities to engage in productive conversations, share parent perspectives, and collaborate on ways to better support students and families. These conversations matter because parents and families bring valuable lived experience and insight that can help strengthen outcomes for students across our district. I also want to recognize that building trust takes time. Trust is built through consistency, transparency, and follow-through. When families see that their concerns are acknowledged and their feedback is considered, it creates confidence that collaboration is possible. This kind of relationship benefits everyone: families, educators, administrators, and most importantly, our students. CPAC's goal is to help create a supportive bridge between families and the district. We want parents to feel informed, connected, and empowered to participate constructively in their children's educational journey. We also want educators and district leaders to know that they have partners in this work. As we continue building CPAC, we are committed to helping create a program that is inclusive, sustainable, and focused on long-term positive impact for special education families throughout Conroe. Thank you for your leadership, your willingness to engage with families, and your continued commitment to all our students. Thank you.
Sorry, I'd like the opportunity to respond even though I was a couple minutes late. I'm Mark Brooks, and apparently I pissed off a lot of people. I'm here to comment on the challenge to the action, Bible Heroes and Villains. It's an encyclopedia of Bible characters in a graphic novel format. I did indeed submit the challenge, and I do think the board should allow the book to remain in school libraries. My problem is at the January 20th meeting, as we've heard, the board voted to grant a challenge to the graphic novel I Am Billie Jean King due to this passage. Quote, around this time I also realized I was gay. Being gay means that if you're a girl, you love and have romantic feelings for other girls. And if you're a boy, you love and have romantic feelings for other boys. Eventually, Larry and I stopped being married, and I fell in love with a wonderful woman named Alana. You can't choose who you fall in love with. Your heart will tell you. End quote. The board used the following rationale to justify the ban. I'm abridging it slightly to the interest of time. It is developmentally inappropriate to provide explicit explanations of sexual orientation and adult marital relationships to this age group. End quote. If that rationale is consistently applied, I don't see how the board can justify banning I Am Billie Jean King without also banning the action Bible Heroes and Villains. There are repeated references to polygamy, which is an adult marital relationship. Here are a couple examples. After being deceived into marrying Leah, he worked 7 more years to marry Rachel. Having 2 wives at once was common at that time. Solomon married far too many women, 700 to be exact. Plus, he had 300 concubines. That sounds exhausting. There are also many references to violence. Here's a fun one. Jael set a wooden tent peg against Sisera's head, took a hammer, and drove the peg right through Sisera's head, killing him instantly. That's delightful. In closing, I think the board should deny the challenge to the action Bible Heroes and Villains, but I also think the board should reverse their decision on Billie Jean King. That's not on the agenda, so it can't be reversed, but it's not on the agenda because you refused to hear an appeal that I submitted. Thank you for your time.
That concludes our citizen participation. We will move on to consent agenda. I've had a request to remove item E from the consent agenda. Therefore, items A through M, with the exception of E, will be considered and approved as one vote unless anything else needs to be removed at this time. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the exception of item E?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor show by the uplift of hands. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to the item E that was pulled from consent agenda, and that is on the first read of the Conroe ISD School Board of Trustees Operating Procedure Manual. Trustee Horton requested this item to be removed from the consent agenda, and I will open the floor for any motions, questions, or discussion at this time.
I motion to approve as presented the Conroe ISD School Board of Trustees Operating Procedures Manual.
I second that.
Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to explain why I wanted to remove from the consent agenda. There are quite a few changes from the first draft to the second draft that gave a lot of authority to the board president, that expanded it from beyond operating a meeting to reimbursements, training compliance, facility training opportunities, and then complaints against trustees. I think this is an overreach for the board president already. I have found that the entire board is not aware of all, how should I put this, of all expenses paid by the district, and I'm afraid that keeping those in this draft would open the door for more of that.
Any other discussion?
I just wanted to give some context about the, call it the BOP, Board Operating Procedure. So I like math, so I did some calculations. We've been talking about this particular document since October. That's 209 days today that we've been talking about this document. We've had 2 board meetings fully devoted just to this topic, 7 hours total talking about this, one of which Trustee Horton was not at. We received all of her information. This has been thoroughly reviewed by every single trustee, and I think out of respect for everyone's time, we need to move forward.
Any other discussion?
I would question why, if we've spent so much time discussing this, there's new information in the document that board members aren't aware of. I personally wasn't aware of the changes to the board president position, and I do think if we're going to change the responsibilities for the different board positions, we should discuss that.
I believe everything that's on there is what we've already discussed.
It's not. The draft has changed.
It's changed substantially.
Okay, I would, honestly, I would like to propose that since this is listed on the agenda as a first reading, there is no harm in allowing all of us to review the document again and come back for a vote.
We've had 30 days to review this document.
There's a motion.
This version of this document?
Yes,
Yes.
30 days.
And I submitted those concerns within the 30 days, and here we are at the board meeting discussing it.
I think it's been in our board brief for months, correct? Weeks, months?
Yeah, I believe I have to, let me go, I'd have to go back and look, but yeah.
It's been a long time, so.
Different versions of it.
Yeah, that's my issue, is been very unclear which version we're approving. I think the most recent version came in today at 2:58 p.m.
Had there been changes to the most recent one at 2:58? Because
Well, that's the thing, I'm not sure because it came in.
I was just asking Dr. Vincent.
Oh, sorry.
Well, the thing is that, most of it's just graphical and punctuation and those kind of things to make sure that was good. So, you saw the version that you saw over the weekends, the version that you're seeing today with pictures and spelling corrections. But, we'll continue to do that for the next 30 days.
Ms. Ballou, can you tell us if the document that we received, other than the edits and pictures, et cetera, is what we've been looking at for the last 30 days?
The board, in the board brief 30 days ago, we released this manual. It's the exact same other than typographical errors and also made pretty by Mr. Andrew. It's been made very, to add, beautiful pictures of Conroe ISD and its students. But the actual content has not changed at all in 30 days since we laid it out in that board brief.
Thank you for that clarification.
Can I ask though, why did it change 30 days ago when the board had discussed it so many times before? I'm confused about how we got to that change.
The changes were made because the board had discussed in public session multiple times wanting to put training procedures in, for example, and so some training procedures were added. The board had also talked multiple times, actually in public, about the fact that we needed some forms and some procedures to adopt new policy. So those, just the recommendations of the board were added to the book subsequent to those conversations.
So it's different than the original book that was presented, and this is the first time that we can comment on those changes, and I wasn't in agreement with those changes the first time they were brought up.
I would agree that 100%, it was presented to you, the final manual for your review was presented 30 days ago. And there were some changes from previous manuals based on public conversations that the board had.
Ms. Ballou, did any trustees submit changes to be made within the 30 days?
No trustees submitted changes to be made. The first time that I heard that there was requested changes to be made was Sunday or maybe Monday discussions of it.
When we received the updated manual, and I sent those changes. So I believe everybody was emailed the changes, and then they're also in your packet.
But just to be clear, the changes were in there 30 days ago.
Yes, the board has requested that with any policy change, you have a 30-day layout. So you receive your policies, of which the board operating procedures is a policy, so you're receiving it 30 days in advance. There's been no changes to this board operating procedurals manual in the last 30 days. It's the exact same as it was 30 days ago when it was laid out to you.
Thank you.
Except for typographical errors and making it recognizing you guys and the wonderful Conroe students in pictures.
I can say, when I received it 30 days ago, I was under the impression that it would reflect what we had discussed in the board meeting, since we did spend so much time discussing it. So I was a little bit surprised to see substantial changes had been made to the document.
So were any changes no changes have been submitted, no requests for changes have been submitted since we've had this document within the 30 days?
Within the 30 days, so it's not been changed since you guys got it 30 days ago. Prior to that, there were discussions, as you guys know, about, for example, board training and making sure we had a process for board training. There was also discussions about making sure we had a process for board policy. So prior to the 30 days, you've given a full 30 days to review it. There were some changes made to reflect discussions that the board had had about things they wanted included in the document.
So changes requested on Sunday have not been made?
No.
Were those changes substantial?
Yes, they're in your board packet or in the folder. They're printed out for you.
So are we going to discuss accepting?
There's a motion on the table right now.
If anything's going to be changed at this point, that we either need to amend the motion, we need to vote on this motion, we need to make amendments to then bring in a vote on changes to the procedural manual, and that's where we are. So if we've got discussion done.
Can we call the vote?
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion. If we have changes that haven't been made to the document and they were requested on Sunday, we would need to discuss those changes. So I make a motion that we, amend the motion to include the changes that were requested before this meeting to be implemented.
Say that again, please.
I would make a motion to amend the motion on the table to include the changes that were requested 2 days ago be implemented.
Wait, so I think that's going to be too big a problem because there's 11 requests. So I think we need to.
All regarding board president authority. So they're all on similar pages.
All right, we have a motion on the table. We've had a call the vote motion. Is there a second on the call the vote motion?
Second.
Then that means we need to take a vote on this item in particular. So,
On the amendment or the amendment?
no, on the original motion.
So we can't amend it.
If we have to vote on, it's been asked to call the motion. So the first thing we have to do is to take a vote on, are we accepting it as presented 30 days ago? All right, all those in favor show by the uplift of hands. All opposed show by the uplift of hands. The motion carries 4-3.
Ms. Ballou, can you confirm that there was no possibility of amending that motion, the original motion?
You guys had a amendment on the, on the motion, so it's a little confusing. But yeah, the original motion stood because that motion was not seconded.
Okay, moving on. We are done with consent agenda and item E. We're moving on to item human resources, recognized principals, appointments. Dr. Vinson.
I'm going to invite up Dr. Winkler to introduce our amazing candidate that wore Texas Tech red for tonight because she knows how to be real.
I didn't add that to my speech. I'm really sorry. Good evening, President Odenweller, members of the board, and Dr. Vincent. Tonight I have the privilege of introducing someone who I believe represents the best of what public education looks like when someone gives their whole heart in believing in kids. Dr. Catherine Brennan's story started, as many of us all do, in the classroom. 21 years ago, she was a math teacher, and from day one, she was more than just a teacher. She was a mentor, she was a coach. The person new teachers went to when they weren't sure what to do next. This instinct has led her down her career path. Dr. Brennan keeps saying yes. Yes to leading intervention programs, yes to taking on challenging campuses, yes to providing structures to the MTS process that is critical for student success. She earned her master's degree, then kept going all the way to a doctorate in education from Sam Houston State in 2016, where she wrote her dissertation on college readiness for students with disabilities. Because even in her academic research, she was thinking about the kids that some people may overlook. For the past 5 years, she has served as assistant principal right here on Conroe ISD at Grangerland Intermediate. Dr. Brennan has also spent the last 4 summers as an elementary summer school principal. She has built leadership academies for teachers. She redesigned behavior systems. She sits in PLC. She digs into data and then goes back and coaches teachers on what to do with it. Staff and parents trust Dr. Brennan because that trust has been earned. What you'll find when you meet her is someone who talks about kids the way we hope all administrators will, not just in percentages and subgroups, but as people. She knows that data is the key to growing our students while understanding that behind every data point is a child, and behind every child is a family who trusts us and is counting on us. And behind Dr. Brennan is also a family that understands what it means to have an educator in the family and the commitment that it takes. With us tonight, you can wave or stand, is Dr. Brennan's husband, Jeff, her parents, Lee and Jerry Fell, her mother-in-law, Judy. Oh, I'm sorry. And she's got a big fan club that are watching on live stream, and her co-workers, including her current principal, Lauren Rucker, and her previous principal, Dr. Serena Loving, all cheering her on tonight. Members of the board, it is a genuine honor to bring before you tonight Dr. Catherine Brenner as the next principal at BB Rice. Please welcome her, our newly named principal.
You know, well, I want to say this is a, Serena, y'all keep talking. It's nice because when you walk down Granger Law Halls, Rux and her both, they love, the teachers love her. And that's nice, right? So.
Awesome.
We have a bonus round today. The thing is that the things we meant to move quickly because there was after Josh Hughes left announced his resignation. There was really pretty clear about who we wanted to bring on, and so I'm going to invite the Kevin Bacon of the Woodlands, Dr. Kopleski, to come in and present that information.
President Odenweller, members of the board, and Dr. Vincent. So I wanted to first acknowledge Mr. Hughes in departing from McCullough. It's a big loss, and we wish him the best of luck. And we obviously had an opening. So without further ado, I would like to recommend Wendy Spears for this position. She is currently the principal at Oak Ridge 9, but she started her career interestingly enough, 21 years ago, just like Dr. Brennan, at McCullough. So she had her first teaching position at McCullough. She was also a cheer coach. I think if you can be a cheer coach, you can do anything, and she has that experience. She then went on to the Woodlands High School, where she served as an English teacher, a cheer coach, 504 coordinator, and assistant principal. She then transitioned back to McCullough as the associate principal and served there and was very instrumental in their master scheduling and their instructional programming and an integral member of their faculty. She has then served this past year as the Oak Ridge 9 principal and been an instructional leader there and helped with student growth and that transition. I want to read a quote that she shared. She said that every role she's ever had has deepened her passion for fostering a supportive school environment where students can thrive. She's incredibly honored to lead and serve the McCullough community once again where she started her career. So she's going home, and she says, once a Highlander, always a Highlander. Here today to support her, she has her husband, Tony, her mother, Mrs. Kulisek, her daughter, Lauren, I'm sorry, and Lauren's friend Andy is here to support her. And her son Kyle could not make it tonight, but I know that he's probably home watching her. But we're so excited. We have a big fan club here behind Mrs. Spears, and I'm glad she's joining the middle school group. I'm excited to have her, so thank you.
I'm excited for you. Congratulations.
Congratulations again.
Andy, do you want a chance to rebut on the thing? You're okay? He's a good-looking fella.
Looks like he matches right in with the family. All right, moving on and getting off that uncomfortable situation there. We'll move on to the administration portion of our meeting and discuss the possible adoption for the Education Foundation resolution.
Madam President, I'm going to ask you, at this point in time, we want to table this item so we could do some additional, we're working with them, and so I think that it would be actually better for us to table it and come back to it.
Okay, if that's the case, then could we please just make it a vote so that
Yes.
we...
Yes, I was willing to make a motion
Okay, go ahead.
to table the adoption of this resolution for further discussion in the future, pending review of new information.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Any other discussion? All right, well then, we will go ahead and take a vote to table this. All those in favor of tabling it for further investigation, please show by the uplift of hands. The motion carries unanimous, 7-0. Moving on to teaching and learning, consider and possibly approve library materials in accordance with Texas Education Code 33.026, Board Policy EFB, and Senate Bill 13. Dr. Upshaw.
Yes.
Good evening, President Ottawell, members of the board. We come to you with our last approval of the 2025-2026 library materials. Remember, these are all additional books, so they're the books that were on public review for 30 days as required per our policy from April the 12th to May the 12th. So with your approval, we'd like to purchase the following list.
All right. Dr. Vincent, do you certify that the library materials presented here tonight comply with TEC 33026 and Board Policy EFB and Senate Bill 13?
I've been trying to find a cooler way to say this, but yes.
All right. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, do I have a motion to accept as presented the library material adoption?
So
tonight?
moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor show by the uplift of hands. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along to discussion item, oh, what, look at that go. Woo-woo! We'll give them just a moment. Dr. Landry, don't take it personally.
I don't.
You know how to clear a room.
I have many talents.
Just give it a couple more seconds. All right, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Vinson. In February, we received a written challenge to library materials to the book titled The Action Bible, Heroes and Villains, and we bring that to you this evening for your review and consideration.
Okay.
Madam President, I make a motion that we make no change to the placement and circulation of this book.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All right, well then I guess we'll call a vote. All those in favor of the motion as presented to leave the book where it is, show by the uplift of hands. Motion carries 7-0.
I did want to say that we purchased bookmarked.
You
okay.
can't talk after
I
the
got it.
vote. Before, you can talk, but not after. Okay, motion. Okay. Moving on. Planning and construction. It's Mr. McCourt's. We're going to start with, I'm just going to let you run through these and not call each one unless you want me to.
Sounds great. So first off, President Odenweiler, members of the board, Dr. Vincent, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight for planning and construction. First off, let me start. President Odenweiler, a source close to me tells me tomorrow may be your birthday. If that is accurate, then happy early birthday. If it's not, then this is really awkward. But happy early birthday. Also, if memory serves correct, Trustee Horton, you have a birthday in the not too far distant future, so happy early birthday to you and to everyone at the dais who has a birthday. Happy early birthday, so thank you. So this is a big night for the district. We're kind of in the home stretch. We're not there, but we're coming around the third turn of the track for planning and construction projects that were related to Bond 2023. It's important to note we have now completed and had approved we've had approved 29 GMP projects. After tonight, we're looking at approximately potentially just 6 more to go. It's a big deal. It's also worth noting with your leadership, the patience of the campuses, planning and constructions efforts, and the support of the community, we're looking at when this is done at going from 39 campuses that were over capacity and 2 that were over 150% of capacity to just around 6 that are over capacity, which is a monumental improvement in the last few years. It is worthy of note, a couple of things I would bring to your attention before we start this, that we do need to keep on our radar: Austin, Bartlett, Giesinger, Patterson, San Jacinto, and Stewart. Also worthy and time-sensitive, I think worth mentioning, we're due to receive our Zonda quarterly report on demographics on May 20th. At least that's what I'm told, which is, I believe, next week. So that's a big deal. So First thing is up is to discuss and possibly approve selecting job order contracting, AKA JOC, is the procurement method for the South County District Warehouse Project. You may know our South County warehouse is located by the Oak Ridge Transportation Center and also by Vogel Intermediate. What we have tonight is a multi-part ask. We're asking for JOC to be the delivery method. So the next question would be, why JOC? Well, it's a very specific type of work. This is a very small ask as far as construction projects go. It's a very small scope of work. They like it. We have an expedited need, and it is an approved method that we can use, that we use from time to time. We're also asking for Nash Industries to be the contractor. We have positive experiences with Nash at the natatorium and also at the Sadler Building, also known as where we are right this minute. So we're asking for Nash and JOC. Just to note, the warehouse currently over by Vogel, we would go from 18 to 32,000 square feet of air-conditioned HVAC controlled space. We need that for a number of reasons, just to continue what we're doing right now, but it's also worthy of note. In our 134 some odd years of the district, next year is one of the biggest. We bring on 5 major campuses, and we have to have places and space to put all the equipment, the technology, everything related to these campuses. And those campuses include Timber Mill High School, the Candy Creek High School Ninth Creek campus, the Grand Oaks High School Ninth Creek campus, Grand Oaks Junior High, and Cartwright Junior High. The price for this work that we're asking is $1,600,000. And once again, we're asking for your approval of JOC as the delivery method and Nash Industries as the contractor.
Any questions or discussion? Okay, do I have a motion to accept as presented?
Motion to accept.
Thank you, Trustee Sumler. Let me get back over here. Do I have a second?
So moved.
I'm sorry, who was that? Thank you, Ms. Gambino. All right, all those in favor show by the uplift of hands. 5, 6, 7. The motion carries 7-0.
On behalf of the district, Brian Broussard and Ellie Bergeron and all of us, thank you very much. That'll be a big help. We appreciate it. Next up, Part B is discuss and possibly approve the guaranteed price amendment for the David Elementary, the Dolphins, and Glass Elementary, home of the Greyhounds, I believe, school additions and renovation project. This involves gyms, critical infrastructure, as well as safety and security. No additional classrooms. We are adding gyms at both sites. For clarity within the wording, the word amendment refers to the formal title of the paperwork, because as a board, you've already awarded and we are engaged with the construction manager based on a previous approval of Nash Industries as the contractor. The request being presented is the initial construction contract for approval to build, not a change to any construction scope or construction in progress. Nash Industries is working with CISD and the architect HKS. We are requesting for your approval of the GMP for these 2 fine campuses. The total price that we're asking for is $13,389,623 and no cents.
Any discussion? I would like to just state thank you for answering the question, because most people in general public would see price amendment adjustment and they would think, well, they never adjust it downward, and they're thinking it's going up. So I'm glad you expressed that and made that clearer. So do I have a motion to accept the David and Gladys renovation and addition projects?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Horton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Semler. All right, all those in favor show by the uplift of hands. 4, 5, 6, 7. Motion carries 7-0.
Next up is discuss and possibly approve the guaranteed price amendment. Once again, the same thing for amendment for San Jacinto Elementary and Rice Elementary, home of the Raccoons, for school additions and renovations project. This involves gyms, critical infrastructure, and safety and security. San Jac is advertised in bond 2023 as a major renovation. It includes the gym, an extension of the driveway to get parents off of FM 1314 in the afternoon, which is not a place you really want to be. There's a lot to it at San Jac. Once again, it's a major renovation. Once again, you had previously named Pogue as the awarded contractor. The funds allocated for the project include money to offload the wastewater treatment plant and the well, thus providing the best placement, which would be on the east side of the gymnasium, room for a longer car queuing line already mentioned, getting parents off 1314 already mentioned, and reserving space for children to play on the playground. And also the fire lane, which is on the north side of the building, is something we have to work around, which is why the wastewater treatment plant, which isn't something people really want to talk about, but it's really important. It's really important to get rid of waste and to have good drinking water, but that's why this comes into play here in MUD 111, which serves Ardavia. It all works together perfectly. So what we are asking for is your approval for this, and that total price for the major renovation at San Jacinto and the work for the raccoons would be $28,646,253.00.
Any discussion? I would like to say that I'm excited, or as excited as you can be, about wastewater management and sanitation. But that area, San Jacinto, Trustee Dungan knows very well as well that it is pretty landlocked. There's nowhere for us to go. Getting cars off 1314 and the carpool line there, it's probably got the smallest footprint of carpool line of any school in our district. And saving our playgrounds over there, because there's only so much space, and we need the gym. It's not a luxury item, and this is very important. So capturing that land and getting rid of the liability of being responsible for that wastewater management system there is a win-win all the way around. So I thank you and your team for your work on that and your direction on it and understanding, or helping us to understand it all.
Yeah, we believe it's an obvious thing to do, and it's worth mentioning San Jacinto, a smallish campus with about 700 capacity. You don't have to be a classically trained demographer to look at Mavera and Ardavia to know San Jacinto requires our full attention and focus.
That's why maximizing every bit of square footage of that land is critical.
And Dr. Winkler could espouse more than I could, but getting a gymnasium at an elementary campus is a complete game changer for the school. Dr. Winkler, is that a fair statement? Game changer.
I know it makes a huge difference on the master planning, especially for all the specials and the scheduling of all of our interventions and special ed needs. Everything is affected by having that gym go in, because you're limited on how much time you have in the day to get around that area. So thank you very much. All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, do I have a motion to accept it as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Horton. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Gambino. And all in favor, show by the uplift of hands. 4, 5, 6, 7. Motion carries 7-0.
The next item, and I may need to call at some point Mr. Broussard. I don't know how many of you know Mr. Broussard. He's a real gift to CISD. He really knows his stuff. He really cares deeply. He's helped us with this, but discussion and possible action to seek RFPs to procure a program manager for bid and construction projects. And our take on this is, after review of engagement or overall services that may be provided, it is our recommendation that we move forward with an RFP with the goal that may potentially bring on a pool of vendors that can be utilized for services such as this, whatever the board chooses. We need an RFP really specifically for consulting. Auditing really doesn't count. Auditing is a functional review of compliance. Consulting is a review of processes and advisement. Mr. Broussard and his team believe it would take 90 days, maybe a little less, but 90 days to turn the RFP around so that you would have a pool of applicant or applicants that you guys could use.
Okay, is
That's
it an
all we
RFP or an RFQ? I thought it was to check the qualifications. Just confirming.
Mr. Broussard, everybody. Procurement.
And it's okay if it's RFP, I just was curious.
Yeah, and just to clarify the difference, so if there was an exclusion like that's in Government Code 2254, it's very, very specific what's excluded from the competitive bid process. If we were looking for architects or engineers, we as a district may decide to do an RFQ, which would be a request for qualifications where price is not considered a factor in the initial review. Because these are more consulting services, it's my recommendation that we do an RFP where price is involved in the evaluation.
Okay. Is there any discussion? I would like to state that the reason why I think this is extremely important, and I thank you all for your patience on this, is because as trustees, aside from the educational point, the most important thing we do, or the biggest responsibility we have, is taxpayers' money being spent on bonds. And to know that we are efficiently and effectively doing things the way we can to maximize every dollar here. This isn't something that we have done recently. It is a prime time of taking a moment when we were in crisis mode of, my statement is butts in seats. We needed kids to have a place to sit in a classroom. That was crisis. We needed to make sure we took action and we got moving on it. While these gyms, while these things that we're going to talk about coming forward are important and necessary and so forth, we need to make sure that we are showing the people that we're taking the money from, especially in times like this, that we're being efficient and effective. And surely there's something new we can learn out of it and gain and grow from in our process and procedures. So I appreciate the ability for us to look at this.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a motion to accept this as proposed?
Motion to accept.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor show by the uplift of hands. Okay, motion carries 7-0. Moving on to PNC.
Sorry, just
sorry.
before I leave, happy belated Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you.
He thinks of everything. He's good. Next up is to discuss and
He
possibly
didn't want to
adopt-
he had to take, you got the birthdays, he got the Mother's Day.
We'll take it. Discuss and possibly adopt actions concerning the bid with regard to the Woodlands Ninth Grade Campus and College Park High School renovation project. So first off, I must do my obligatory, I'm contractually obligated to mention that the Woodlands High School Ninth Grade Campus used to be Branch Crossing Junior High, home of the Scottish Lions. Scottish Lion Nation will let me know if I don't mention that via email tomorrow morning. So we're talking about these two campuses. It's hard to believe. It was just seemed like yesterday that Dr. Merle was becoming principal at College Park High School after leaving Knox Junior High, but that was 21 years ago, Dr. Merle. You're here, yeah. Thank you, Dr. Merle. Did a great job there. Next up, so we're looking at chillers, boilers, and air handlers and roof sections at College Park, and also at the Woodlands High School Ninth Grade Campus, now 26 years. We're looking at chillers, boilers, air handlers, and roof sections for both campuses, exterior card readers, driveway cameras to be completed by August of 2028. We had 17 contractors respond, which is a great response for this. And our recommendation is Marshall Constructors. A fun fact, they were the original builder at College Park High School.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion to accept as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, trustees. All those in favor show by the uplift of hands. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next up is discuss and possibly adopt actions concerning the bid with regard to the auxiliary facilities renovation project. This is for $11.5 million. It includes the Sadler Administration Building, which is where we're sitting right now. Remember, it used to be a hospital, but now it's a place of higher learning. Also, TAC, which is the Testing and Assessment Center, which is the satellite building that is located by Armstrong Elementary and the Conroe Transportation Center off of Gladstone. The Woodlands Transportation Center located adjacent to Knox Junior High. Also, the Police Command Center on 336. The Hawk Building, also known by people of my age as Crockett. It used to be a Crockett Junior High School. And also, potentially, depending upon how things shake out, or not, the Caney Creek wastewater treatment plant. The infrastructure would be involving chillers, boilers, air handlers, electrical service equipment, generators, and roof sections. We had 13 contractors respond to this. Our recommendation is Millennium Project Solutions. They've accomplished this type of work for many of our neighboring districts. There would be a new construction company to CISD, and we're recommending Millennium Project Solutions.
Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, do I have a motion to accept as presented?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor show by the uplift of hands. Motion carries 7-0.
Discuss and possibly adopt actions concerning the bid with regard to the Caney Creek High School renovations and district safety and security upgrades project. This would be for $25 million. Caney Creek opened in the year 1997. We're looking at Caney Creek chiller replacement, boiler replacement, air handler replacement, electrical service equipment, safety and security improvements for the high school, including driveway cameras and 100% exterior door card readers. For the safety and security upgrades, we're talking about Bradley, Clark, Such, Mahope, Hines, Gordon Reed, Bartlett, Lamar, Oak Ridge Elementary, Stockton, Moorhead, Conroe High School, and Grand Oaks High School that would all be completed by August of 2028. Contractors responded to this. We had a healthy response. The recommendation is Ellisor Constructors. That is what we have.
I have a question about that. Are we not concerned with the other projects that they're already doing and finishing up the Conroe High School? I think it's our 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade campus in the Grand Oaks feeder, as well as other projects that they're working. Are they not stretched pretty thin?
Excellent question. We are, and I say this with all due excitement, we're coming to a close for the projects at Conroe High School. You can see it if we go outside and look across the street. That is coming to a close. They are on schedule and performing swimmingly at the Grand Oaks High School 9th grade campus and the Grand Oaks Junior High, which some of us took a tour there a while back.
Yes.
I apologize, it was so hot, we shouldn't have gone that day. But we did take a tour. But that will be coming to an end soon. Remember, for Grand Oaks Junior High, that will open in August of 27. But the Grand Oaks High School 9th grade portion will open in January, which is just a few months down the road. So we feel very comfortable that this is within their scope of what they can accomplish. And they have had a very successful in the 2019 bond of doing this type of work. This type of work can be hard and dirty, and it's not for everybody. It's not a greenfield project. They were very successful. And in fact, they returned $700,000 to us back in that 2019 work. So that is why the selection group has recommended Ellisor Constructors.
I would give some pause to it, trying to work through it. One of the reasons that I wanted to do is because, especially when you're putting in security equipment and the design and process with it, it's really important to have that continuity about the installation and process about how it works. Because if you get two different things, it works different ways. Because I had the same concern, and so that's what, when we talked through it, I feel like, they have the, they went through the process, we're having the same systems and processes, and that is a critical thing to do similar, because you don't want to get creative on that stuff.
I believe it was Mr. Foster, it may have been you, Mr. McCord, that told me that they had already done this type of work before.
They've already done it for us,
And
yeah.
These are systems to keep our students
Yes.
and staff and facilities safe, and so I'm confident that they have that experience.
Yeah, they do, and it's the very
I just wanted to
same
be sure
thing.
we weren't overextending.
No, I
them.
mean, the thing is it's loud and clear from what you guys have talked about with regard to the completion of that stuff. My thing was is that when I come back to it, that's one of those safety system things we're doing it the same. There's a couple of those things that, in my construction experience, that you really want to make sure that you have the same person doing the same thing and replicating the process. And, so it's good.
To piggyback off that, it's not just Ellisor Constructors, it is the superintendent, not Dr. Vincent, but their superintendent who oversaw that difficult work in 2019. That person is available to do this work again. So he is there, he's done it, you can't say how important the experience is. That's why we're recommending Ellisor for this particular job.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have a motion? Is there any other discussion? Sorry.
I do have some concern with Ellisor as well. I mean, they were our contractor or have been our contractor for 10 years on the Conroe High School. And when I asked, months ago, what the substantial completion date was. I was, we went back and forth about what that was and finally came to an agreement, and they finally, anteed up on that. But I have concerns with Ellisor. I just wanted to put that out there on.
And piggyback the substantial completion.
Did others bid on this as well? Were there others?
11 others, 12 total bid on this project.
And why did we choose this Ellisor? I mean, they're finishing a huge project, 2 huge projects for us, right? I mean,
because they have the ability to do this, and they have expertise in this area. And just like with a mutual fund, past history is no guarantee of future returns. But in the past, they performed very well in this role, and they returned a substantial amount of money to us. And they came in on time and did a good job.
One of the reasons when I went and was more scrutiny, because that's, Trustee May, I understand your concerns, and that's when we got to have an extra layer with it. It's again, the fact that we've installed this stuff before, they've installed this stuff before, and we want to make sure that that's all consistent with how we've done it.
so you said there was 11 total
Yeah.
contractors?
12 total.
12 total.
11 besides.
So they were the only one that had expertise in this?
They had the most expertise and experience.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is the expertise on our facilities, so that you understand what I'm saying as far as that goes. When you've done it before, you can do it again. I mean, again, I had the same, as you say, side eye. It's the process of making sure it works correctly.
And there were 5 that made it to the second round, is that correct?
That is correct.
Who were the 5 that made it to the second
The 5
round?
that made it to the second round were, first off, Ellisor was first by rank, second by price. They came in at just $83,000 under. Second rank and third on price was Anslow. Third was Pogue. Fourth was Teal. And fifth was Prime Contractors, who've never worked in CISD. So that is the 5 that made it to the second round.
And you're saying Ellisor has already installed these items on our facilities?
Well, but not these specific, but they have vast experience doing exactly what we're asking them to do again. And the superintendent person who was on charge of that did a great job and returned $700,000 to the district, that person is still there and would be listed as the superintendent on the job supervising this activity.
Thanks.
And of the 5, there was, you said one had never worked for us. That seems like that, is a wild card for sure, right? But
Correct.
so that would leave 3 other contractors, and none of them had any expertise in this area.
Varying expertise. We have right now Teal, which are actively working themselves at Bush and Powell. You have Pogue, which is active at the Woodlands High School, doing the Woodlands High School as we sit here tonight. You have Anslow Bryant, who currently working on Giesinger and Reeves, as well as Irons Peak, York, and the Conroe High School Knox Creek campus. They did that. They recently finished Schneider, Tuff, and Collins. So all these, except for the ones that have never worked in CISD, either are active or have been very active. Except for Prime. Prime has not.
Ever, yeah, okay.
So those were the 5 that made it out of the 12. 5 made it to the second round, which is the maximum we can take to the second round.
Are they able to provide consistency in the product, or would the product, come from any of these places and, they could install it as well? Is it that kind of issue, or trying to keep it consistent?
It's dirty work. I have no doubt that to some degree that all these people could do this job to some degree. Just like we could hire a lot of contractors to redo our bathroom in our house, or whatever the case may be. Experience has shown these people came in very reasonable, very cheap, and have good experience doing it, and the main person that made it happen is still there. And the firm matters, but just like with us in our roles, the people really matter. People are ultimately what will make it happen. So that's why our committee went with this recommendation.
And when do you expect this work will start? I look back at my fact sheet that you all sent us. Thankfully, I love this. It says completion August 2028. When do you expect that they will, well, that's the Caney Creek, well, it's all of it. But when do you expect that they will start working on it? Mainly because out of curiosity of the completion this summer at Conroe, completion this summer over at Grand Oaks, and then the other piece January. And then is that all they have with us right now?
That'd be it. Mr. Foster, early, fair estimate, first quarter, 27? First quarter of 27, at some point, they would do that.
Okay.
They'd have moved away long ago from Conroe High School, depending upon how you define long ago, and they would be completing the Grand Oaks High School 9th grade campus in the Grand Oaks Junior High.
Okay, thank you.
Is that fair, Mr. Foster?
And Conroe High School is, they're coming in?
Yes, yes. We're excited, I know you're, those frustrated.
Yeah.
And special kudos to the studio audience. I believe she's behind me, or she was, Tasha Smith. I always like to recognize Tasha. She may be gone, but she's been great. I mentioned the patience of the campuses. Tasha is the poster child for that. So
I'd like to call the vote.
Thank you. So are you making the motion? As accepted?
There's no motion?
No, not yet.
Okay, then I will make the motion to accept as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, thank you, trustees Dungan and Semler. All those in favor, show by the uplift of hands. All opposed? Motion carries 6-1. And moving on to our last one, sir.
discuss and possibly adopt actions concerning the bid with regard to the Anderson and Glenlock Elementary School additions and renovation project. So Anderson was built in 1994. Glenlock, home of the Gators, was built in 1980. We're asking for $22 million. At Anderson, we're looking at a gym and HVAC overhaul. Glenlock would mainly be a gym addition, which would be the focus. Would be safety and security at both locations to be completed August of 2028. 18 contractors responded, which is among a high water mark for response from contractors we've had. Our recommendation is Marshall Construction. Marshall Construction has a long history of successful work in our district, including Stockton with the aforementioned College Park High School, Eisler, Campbell, and more. So our recommendation to our committee is Marshall Construction. They were first by rank, and they were the lowest bidder.
Discussion?
Can I just say in general, I really like this fact sheet because there's so many construction projects that this is really helpful to have it, an executive summary. When we have these in the future, which I hope we keep doing, can we, if there's multiple schools involved, can we break it down by what the cost is per school? Because it's kind of hard to know, 25 million, where is it going?
We can generally organize that information. You know, the thing is that what we're going to do to President Odenwiller was one who requested this, and we're actually start putting that in your board brief a little ahead of time, because you know the easy read, that's a little bit more easy to understand in those kind of processes. So yeah, happy to do that.
You being funny? You use the word easy
I'm just trying to
twice.
say, easy, but saying that easy, it's his guy. So yeah, it's you know.
But to
Thank
make
you.
a point is that as you go through the GMP process, you'll have more of those specifics. So that's a cellular question. But once
Okay.
we go through the process, then we'll be able to tell you more exactly what it will be. That's part of the
But
process.
I do really like this,
I
whoever
did.
came up with it.
You're
Great.
welcome.
Thank you. Nancy.
I will also state that in my follow-up
Board
questions, that I made sure that Mr. McCord and Dr. Vincent made sure everyone got the breakdowns, because that was one of my questions. So could you tell me how much was being allocated for this and this? And so that really helped.
Good.
Honestly, I know it was a lot, and if we're getting to put together on the fly, it was last night?
Well, we did it this afternoon, but.
Well, you
last
answered the
night,
questions
Dr. Vincent-
today.
Dr. Vincent made it pretty. He's really good with AI.
Lipstick. The thing is, though, in AI,
But I do want to say that there was something I was just going to tell you about the process. Oh, by putting them in the board brief, that lets the trustees get it ahead of time and be able to ask more questions before we get here at the board meeting. We can still discuss it when we're here, but at least we feel much more comfortable about what's coming to us and we're being asked to approve.
You know, and I'd be remiss while I'm up here if I didn't give a shout out to the planning and construction team, because of the earlier date of this event, they burned the midnight oil to get this in on time. And so, thanks to them, a lot of people did a lot of work, not just our team, but also the architects and construction firms, so.
Thank you.
That means a lot, thank you. We put a lot into it.
And that's one of the things you did, not only that, but got us our questions answered too. So do I have a motion to accept as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting, please show by the uplift of hands. Motion carries 7-0. Y'all, you're not going to believe this, but hearing no further business, the time is 7:13 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here tonight.